Why hasn't the prototype just left or killed us yet? So far, we've been fighting toy after toy, all of which the prototype threw at us to stop or slow us down, but we have succeeded every single time. We have got rid of Huggy, Mommy, Miss Delight, and Catnap, but somehow we're still alive. If every enemy that the prototype has used failed, then why hasn't he finished the job himself? Well, maybe the prototype doesn't actually want to kill us, at least not right away. Perhaps he knows how capable we actually are, just like Poppy says to us.
We've all seen you, how capable you are. You killed Huggy. You killed Mommy. You freed me.
What if it was his plan all along for us to destroy the evil toys he sent our way, so that he could collect the body parts and use this as motivation to get the other toys on his side? So let's start from the very beginning, where I have shown the Find the Flower letter a lot, but that's because there's a lot of information to gather from it. For one, there's a few mistakes. Disappeared is spelled incorrectly, and in the word weird, the apostrophe in the wrong spot. This indicates that a child or a toy that used to be a child sent us this letter. There's been theories that Crafty Corn wrote this because it's written in red ink, and we know that she has a weird obsession with the color red.
Hi, I'm Crafty Corn. Can you help me with my painting? Pass me the blue, please. Thanks. Now, can you give me some red? More red, please. Out? But we can't be out. You're hiding more red from me. I know you are. Give it here!
It's also theorized that because she likes to draw, she was involved in painting the giant poppy flower, but this could only be true if she did so before the hour of joy, as we can see the flower in the tape during the hour of joy. But this begs the question, how would Crafted Corn know about us? And why would she want us to return to the factory? And besides being a part of the Smiling Critters, she doesn't really serve any other significance in the game, at least right now. And we can also assume that the Smiling Critters were killed by Catnap and eaten during the hour of joy, meaning that she wouldn't have been alive to write that letter. Lastly, since her character loves to color, it wouldn't be a stretch to assume that she was once a child, and her note specifies that the staff are still here, not the children, so it doesn't quite add up. As for the other characters, Dogday couldn't have written this letter since he's chained up, and Poppy didn't write it because she was stuck in her case for 10 years. So who could it be? Maybe it's the prototype behind this letter. He might not have written it, but he could have had a toy to do it for him. This toy most likely was a child, as seen by the grammatical issues in the letter. But this could have been done on purpose, as a way to guilt-trip the player, making us come back for the children. This would make sense, since toys that are still following the prototype are mostly former children, enraged with Playtime employees for the Bigger Bodies initiative. Or could it have been Ollie? Ollie is first introduced after the train crash, and is said to be teaming with Poppy.
Did you do that? I guess that's where Catnap found you. I know you're probably mad at Poppy for not letting you escape, but she needs you. We need you.
Now Ollie sounds like a kid, and as seen in the letter, it contains many errors a child would make, and Ollie then goes on to explain what he has seen and what has happened. But I believe that Ollie is a bigger body that was made as a security guard. So Playtime Co. didn't have to employ someone for that, but that's a theory for another video, so let me know if you want me to make it. But toys that used to be staff, like Brawn and Bonzo, are constantly seen around chapters being brutalized, as they are some of few that we know Playtime Co. used employees instead of the children. So this letter could have just been a ploy by the prototype to get us to come back and possibly get revenge. But why us? Well, in a previous video, I speculated that the player actually had something to do with the hour of joy, or at least did something to cause it. This is due to the voice tape that we hear during our hallucinations in Home Sweet Home, in which a river-said voice through the radio told us that we were supposed to be there, but we missed the events and any possible planning that led up to it.
Years ago, when you didn't show up. 8/8/1995. You were supposed to be here. Why weren't you here? You missed the event. You missed the meeting. You missed the party. You have no right to be here.
And the voice that comes, though, sounds awfully familiar. So we definitely played an important role on that fateful day. But for some reason, we were a no-show, and our survivor's guilt was on display for pretty much all of Chapter 3. I also spoke about how it was possible that human employees could have helped with the Hour of Joy, due to the fact that it could have been a human worker who released kissy-missy straps in her VHS tape. So let's say we were an employee that took a vow to jumpstart the Hour of Joy, but chickened out last minute or were prohibited by something. Miss Delight even questions our existence.
Wait, I recognize you. Yes, I remember. You used to work here. How are you alive?
Possibly indicating that we were present on that faithful day. We were supposed to team up with him 10 years ago, but we might have betrayed him in some way. This could be his twisted way of getting revenge on us. For example, Catnap didn't immediately kill Dogday, but instead he tortured him because he knew that Dogday was the true leader of the smiling critters and was a threat. He also disliked the fact that Dogday was a heretic, so he wanted his death to be slow and painful. It could be the same for the prototype, angry at us for being absent during the Hour of Joy, and because of this, he decided to unleash every weapon he had so that we would have to fight for our lives in order to find out what happened to the staff. Also, all of the enemies that we had to fight didn't kill us right away. They waited and almost toy with us for a little while. Even Huggy and Miss Light, who are both insane and incredibly hungry, held off for a bit before trying to kill us. So maybe the prototype told his minions to stay low and play with their food, just so that the experience is all the more traumatizing for us. And this makes sense. The prototype's whole entire goal was to seek revenge on evil employees for what they've done to the toys. And it's no secret that we have a dark past. Chapter 3 has emphasized the guilt that the player feels, as we have seen many clues indicating that we worked with the children, possibly involved in the Bigger Bodies initiative. But this does ask, who are we? Who is the player? And I have a general idea, but that video is for another day. What if the prototype knew that we would be able to defeat the threats he threw at us? Sure, we endured trauma from Huggy, Mommy Many Issues for Mommy Long Legs, and PTSD for Miss Delight. Plus, we got drugged by Catnap, but at the end of the day, we still came out on top. At this point, the prototype has to know what he's doing. We're defeating more and more enemies, or so-called enemies, as some have even gone as far as to say that they were there to stop the prototype's escape, and we are going to free him, but he doesn't seem to be in a rush when it comes to exterminating us. This theory could be true. The first theory, and defiantly most boring, is that the prototype just likes to play games. Similar to Mommy, he wants to see how capable we are, giving us the illusion that we actually have the opportunity to escape the factory. Perhaps the prototype just wanted to prolong everything so that the final kill in active revenge would be more satisfying, but there has to be more to his plan. The second theory is that the prototype is using us to kill toys so that he can collect more body parts, and this already shown as he's taken Mommy and Catnap from right in front of us, only showing a claw hand. So this makes every theory more interesting, as we don't know what the prototype looks like, but we have seen drawing depicting a claw-like hand exoskeleton. We also know, based on Catnap's shrine, what the prototype could potentially look like, and again we are then told by Ollie that he's way scarier.
Hey, did you see the shrine? That shrine? Did it scare you? If you thought that was terrifying, just wait until you see the real thing.
And in Mommy's last words, that he collects pieces of toys to build himself up. The prototype is planning something big and is clearly very busy, but he still has eyes everywhere, alerting him of the right time to gather up a dead body and add it to his collection. Maybe the prototype doesn't do the actual hunting because he sees himself as better than the others, and killing would bring him down to their level. So he leaves that to us instead. And his minions, he somehow knows that we're very capable, and it saves time on his part that he can continue doing whatever he's planning. But you have to admit it's quite odd. The Hour of Joy already happened, the toys succeeded, and all of the employees are dead. So why does the prototype feel the need to become stronger and continue working on himself epically if his goals have already been achieved? In fact, why are the toys still in this factory? The Hour of Joy was supposed to be an opportunity for the tortured souls to experience freedom. One would, I think that they achieved that. Mob Entertainment released a YouTube video titled Restricted Disappearance, which took place in 1992. The tape is about Huggy Wuggy escaping the facility and Playtime researchers trying to find him. At the end of the tape, Huggy is seen standing in front of a house. Out of all places, this is where he decided to go. Perhaps this is where Huggy used it to live before becoming an orphan, or could this be Elliot Ludwig House, as it was said that he would come home very late and leave very early. But after struggling, Playtime Co. found a way to get him back to the facility, and then 13 years later, when we show up, he is still here. Now all I can assume from this is that Playtime Co. inserted some sort of kill chip device into the bigger bodies, and this is why none of them have either tried to escape or leave, and why the prototype is still here, trying to find a way for them to leave. And this could be why Poppy wants us to go to the prototype. We are going to assume that because of the evidence that we used to work here, I would like to assume that we are possibly the doctor. But I'm going to leave that theory there. As mentioned earlier, I have another video on that. We know the prototype wants us alive, as he could have easily killed us multiple times, though out the chatters. And as we know, the prototype is gathering all the dead toys up for a reason. Could this be to make an army of dead toys, or is this to purely make himself stronger? But this other theory goes off the rails, and quite frankly, there isn't that much evidence to support it, but it does bring up something worth mentioning: the death screams. In each chatter after you die, you're greeted by a buzzing television and a static screen, each with a unique message for the player. Most of the screens end with the word "get up" and are usually motivating lines that we can assume come from various characters. This always struck me as odd, because instead of having a regular death screen that just cuts to black or gives you lower, these seem to be speaking directly to the player after death, indicating that the story is still going on in some way. But how could we be hearing or seeing these messages if we're dead? Recently, we explored the properties of the red gas. It's known for causing hallucinations and drowsiness. We also went over its origins. Elliot Ludwig initially did experiments with poppy gel on rats to work on regenerative properties, and we know that these substances would then go on to be used during the Bigger Bodies initiative. The red smoke wouldn't have just been produced to subdue children, but it could have also been used to keep them somewhat alive when they were transformed into their new bodies. And who is constantly regenerating themselves after they've died? Us, the player. Now, first and foremost, these are death screens, and as a gameplay mechanic, they're obviously meant to reboot us after losing so that we can continue playing. But the fact that we're receiving messages telling us to get up after we've died indicates that we might have some ability to revive ourselves from the dead, similar to how the souls of the children are still alive in the toys. And if we are a bigger body, it would make sense that we had some participation in the hour of joy. Plus, our character doesn't speak. This is a stretch since the main characters of indie games don't usually speak, but there's a lot of banter between us, Poppy and Ollie, and somehow we don't say a word. So could we be a bigger body that doesn't speak like Huggy or Kissy? Maybe, but that's a bit too crazy to assume. But either way, the prototype must see something special in us, and we hope to find that out in Chapter 4. So remember to comment your theories and to stay curious or click on this video.